Alright, this is my video for Sprint 1 of the engine project. Looking first at the Atlas engine folder, which contains the game assets. We have the renamed game.cpp, which is now Atlas. But looking in here, the load model functions are replaced with the new user functions from the model manager. The texture manager is responsible for the loading of the texture files, and then the shader manager will load the shader objects as well as the prefab shaders. And then down here in the graphics objects, the get functions of the asset managers are used to get the proper resources. And looking in the asset managers folder, we have the texture manager, which is existing as a pointer instance that is created upon being called for the first time. Uses a map of texture pointers to store all the textures, and then has the various delete, get, and load functions. If we look in here, the load will set an iterator and then check through to make sure that the key does not already exist within the map, and if not, then it will load that resource. And then when we're calling get, we'll also set an iterator and make sure that that iterator does exist inside the collection of textures, and if it does, then we will return it. And then inside the delete function, we'll just cycle through the map, deleting every asset inside, and then once it's done, we will clear the map and then delete the pointer instance. And then it's essentially the same functions inside all the managers. The only difference is in the model manager, you will also have two different loads, one for loading a model from a path, and then a load for loading a model from a pre-made model, which then just has two different load functions that work essentially the same, but one will load with the resource path and the other will pass in the type that is the enum. And then all the resource paths are set inside the constructors with the various file names. And if we look in the project folder, inside the asset folder, we have the model folder with all the models, all the shaders in the shader folder, and all of the textures are in the textures folder. So if we run this using the new load functions, it'll work, but then at the bottom, cleanup is called in the unload, which is all the deletes, which will clear the maps and delete the singletons. If we run this, the game works just the same. And all of the original load functions have been commented out and replaced.